So President Obama is getting interviewed by Bloomberg News. And he's doing this interview because he wants to show that he's reaching out to the business community. Now, there's no ands, ifs, or buts about that. He tells the interviewer, or his staff does, hey, you know, we're meeting with CEOs and executives right down the hall in the White House, and the whole point of this is to reach out to business interests and to show them that we're not their enemy. Now, gee, I wonder why they're doing that. It couldn't be because all of a sudden the Republicans have been saying, hey, Wall Street, you should work with us, and you should give us more lobbyist money than you give the Democrats. There's been a number of stories about that. We covered it on the show, and the Wall Street executives saying, I don't know, we just might take the money away from the Democrats and give it to the Republicans. So now Obama's reaching out and go, no, please, don't hit us, don't hit us. We still want your money. I think it's crystal clear. Now, they claim, of course, after things got a little messy for them, that is not what they're doing. But no one believes that, so as you're about to see from these quotes. So these are the quotes that got Obama in a little bit of trouble. First, he says, well, look, first of all, I know both those guys, referring to Lloyd Blankfein, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, who got a $9 million bonus, and Jamie Dimon, who got a $17 million bonus, who's the CEO of JP Morgan, right? He says, I know both those guys. They're very savvy businessmen, and I, like most of the American people, don't begrudge people success or wealth. That's part of the free market system. Okay, wait. Now, what do you mean that's part of the free market system? The whole problem here is that we went outside of the free market system. We did the TARP program, and we injected all that cash and all that easy credit into those companies. If it was part of the free market system, we wouldn't have any problem at all. We wouldn't even be discussing this. However much they want to pay their CEOs would be their business, not our business. The problem is taxpayer money was involved. This ain't the free market. And for Obama to say that, I mean, one, that's outrageous. Two, it's not factually correct. And three, it's an obvious and naked plea to the bankers, please keep giving the Democrats money. He continues. He says, this is quote number 2. I do think that the compensation packages that we've seen over the last decade at least have not matched up always to performance. I think that shareholders oftentimes have not had any significant say in the pay structure for CEOs. Now, look, that's good, because now he's trying to say, hey, look, you know what? Shareholders should have more say. That's true. He's saying, you know what? Sometimes the CEOs get overpaid. But in this instance, apparently he doesn't think they're getting overpaid. So now he's going to get himself into more trouble with quote number 3. Listen, $17 million is an extraordinary amount of money. Of course, there are some baseball players who are making more than that who don't get to the World Series either. So I'm shocked by that as well. Now, hold up. Okay, these aren't baseball players, right? I'll let Paul Krugman do the talking here. First of all, he thought all these quotes were clueless. And in his blog, Krugman wrote, oh my God, what have you done here, right? But on the baseball players, he makes a great point. First of all, to my knowledge, irresponsible behavior by baseball players hasn't brought the world economy to the brink of collapse and cost millions of innocent Americans their jobs and or houses. Of course, why do you think we're not livid about the baseball players' salaries? We're amused by the salaries, and we're amazed by the salaries, but they didn't ruin the economy. It's not their fault, okay? Now, on the issue of the whole first part of the quote on whether it's the free market or not, Simon Johnson had a terrific quote. So let me read that to you. He said, what we have now is not a free market. It is rather one of the most complete and awful instances ever of savvy businessmen capturing a state and the minds of the people who run it. Is this really what the president seeks to endorse? Another great question. Simon Johnson had more devastating quotes. He says, this is the antithesis of a free market system. Not only were the banks saved by the government action in 2008 and 2009, but the overly generous nature of this bailout means that the playing field is now massively tilted in favor of these banks. Not only that, but the incentives of the people running these mega banks is now to take on a reckless amount of risk. They get the upside, for example, in these compensation packages, and when the downside materializes, this belongs to the taxpayers and everyone who loses a job. Again, exactly right, okay? Now, Obama's got to realize this. And then finally, I'll come back to Krugman for one more quote here, because he talks about the political implications, which I agree with. He says, Obama thinks his key to electoral success is to trumpet, quote, the influence of corporate leaders have had on his economic policies. We're doomed. That's right. Obama, you can't think this is smart politics. But this is exactly why we're concerned that you're too concerned about lobbyists and special interests and corporate America and Wall Street. How do you not see that? Because the reality is you are that concerned. I mean, you're willing to go out in public and defend these guys. Now, his defense has been, no, you don't understand. We've said this many times that we don't begrudge their salaries. I don't know why people are going mental now, and we're just trying to defend the free market system. But look, we're going mental now because they're getting these huge bonuses when they got backed up by the taxpayers. Nobody begrudges anybody if you're actually part of the free market system. But if we're paying those salaries, that's why we're upset. How could you not know that? But you do know that. And you're just trying to protect these guys, which is terrible politics and even worse policy. So he really stepped in it now. And he should get the flag for it, rightfully so. That's unacceptable. Now, of course, ironically, the National Republican Senatorial Committee and all the other Republican outlets are all over this. And they're trying to paint Obamas with the bankers, which is roughly true. Then they're trying to paint themselves as populists who are against the bankers, which is entirely false. So, as we stand now, Obama's proposals in the Senate, when you get to the policy side, are much tougher than they used to be. So, as we were telling you yesterday, he's making steps in the right direction. And the people blocking those policies are the Republicans. And they bragged in the Wall Street Journal, they bragged in the New York Times, Wall Street, we're on your side, and we're going to try to kill all these proposals, right? But now when Obama makes a statement like this, the Republicans get the best of both worlds. They get to take the bankers' money, which have now shifted to the Republicans, and then they get to say, oh, Obama's with the bankers. I mean, that's incredibly foolish politically thing for Obama to do. You're in a lose-lose. You're trying to incrementally do the right thing, and you're getting no credit for it, and you're losing the lobbyist money. Is Rahm Emanuel the genius behind this? I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know what? Ultimately, Obama makes his decisions. He makes the quotes. He's the one that did the interview. He's the one that thought it was a great idea to put out a huge flag and say to the American people, we're on the bankers' side. We're on the bankers' side. Bad idea, Genes.